CBS put out a recent ranking for top 10 coaches in the NFL, according to Sean J. Wagner. Now, while I do love the 1 and 2, which is deserving, back to back AFC conference games, Super Bowls, having the MVP quarterback. But everything else is just ridiculous. Here is my personal quarterback ranking, which I think is a pretty solid ranking if you just look at it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you probably going to question 5, 6, and 7, and I'll quickly explain that. Honestly, this was one of the hardest lists I ever had to make, and here's why I have these rankings how I have it. Okay, so you got Bill Belichick. Now, mind you, all these stats I'm about to name for the coaches individually are for the past 3 years, since a lot of these coaches, like Sean McVay, have only 3 years of coaching experience. So, number 1, obviously, I got Bill Belichick. He's been in the past 3 Super Bowls, had some of the greatest defensive performances in the regular season and also the postseason. 3 division titles in that abysmal, even this year, AFC East division. He has 2 Super Bowl wins out of the 3 Super Bowls he appeared in, and he has the highest win percentage out of all active coaches in the NFL over the past 3 years with a 36-12 record, putting him at 75% win percentage, and he also has the most playoff wins, obviously, because, Then, of course, at number 2, I have Andy Reid. He also has the second most playoff wins. 34-13 regular season record, 2 back-to-back conference game appearances. He's an AFC champion, Super Bowl champion, along with having 3 division titles. And a lot of people don't know this, but he has 3 division titles in the AFC West with 2 different quarterbacks as well. So, and Andy Reid has also had some of the greatest offensive performances over the past 3 years as well. I think that also ties into my ranking. Actually, it does tie into my ranking. Right, then I got Doug Peterson at number 3. 31-17 regular season record. While that also includes going to the playoffs 3 straight years in a row, 2 NFC East division titles. He's an NFC conference champion, Super Bowl champion, and has a 5-1 playoff record in the past 3 years with no starting QB as well. Number 4, I believe I got Sean Payton, who I believe is like the Peyton Manning of the coaches I have ranked, just because he does very well in the regular season and doesn't really show up too much in the post division, but that's no shade. Well, actually is shade. Fuck that. All right, but still, he has playoff appearances 3 straight years in a row, back-to-back conference game appearances, losing both of them, and also 3 division titles in the NFC South division. That's probably going to be ran by Tampa Bay this coming year. And then number 5, I got Sean McVay. 33-15 regular season record, back-to-back division titles. He has a Super Bowl appearances, but got shut down and caused one of the most boring Super Bowls ever, but still one of the more greater defensive performances. The defensive performances I was talking about earlier with Bill Belichick. And then he's just known for having a high-powered offense, if you take away last year. I don't know, and it just amazed me how they put Sean McVay over Doug Peterson. I just don't get it. Like, it logically does not make sense. Like, it don't make sense. He got beat by a backup quarterback 2 years in a row and got shut down in a Super Bowl. Number 6, I got Kyle Shanahan, who to me is like the Eli Manning of all these coaches, really, because his regular season record doesn't really reflect his playoff success, Super Bowl appearances, and a couple playoff wins, even though he didn't really show up in the Super Bowl, but you still got to respect the accolades. Number 7, I got Mike Tomlin, and here's why. Okay? Although I really could have put him in front of Kyle Shanahan, but in the past 3 years, Mike Tomlin only has a conference game appearance, while also losing to Blake Bortles. So I don't know. There's not much to say I can say about Mike Tomlin. It really just depends on how well Ben Roethlisberger is going to be going into the season. Number 8, I got Mike Zimmer, 31-17 regular season record, 2 playoff appearances, and a conference game appearance. Now, arguably, I could have put him in front of Mike Tomlin, but I don't know. I think his NFC conference game appearance was more embarrassing than Mike Tomlin, so that's why he was put as number 8. Number 9, I got Mike Vrabel, 18-14 regular season record. He only has 2 years of coaching experience. However, I do believe his conference game appearance and his 3 playoff wins, knocking off Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady, while also putting up a more competitive game for the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game than either the Houston Texans with Bill O'Brien or what's his name? Bill Belichick, golly, yeah. So I think that makes him a respectable coach, and that's why I put him at number 9. And finally, number 10. And before I say this, no, I have no bias towards Pete Carroll. This is just simply off success in the past 3 years. Pete Carroll, 30-18 regular season record. No, pretty good coach in regular season, but as far as postseason success, it's 2 playoff appearances, and a playoff win against the Eagles, who didn't have their starting quarterback due to a dirty hit and ended up getting smoked that next game against the Green Bay Packers.